guess this is what happens when I stay the hell away from the news. Everything else happens and I keep missing it. Okay, it's 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is still the 23rd of May, 2023 for Tuesday. Mr. Weaver, John C., Rosamond, California. What's going on, guys? Okay. Uh, the one thing I am going to be saying at this point is we still have a First Amendment conflict going on in the state of Texas. Apparently, the chambers of Texas are still trying to battle it out whether or not to put this on for a vote or not, but putting the Ten Commandments in every school they have in the state of Texas. If we are talking about private schools or religious schools, if I can say it that way, ones who teach about spirituality or religion of any sort, and privately funded without the public involvement in it. Basically, tax money coming out of the public. Okay, I got no problems with the Ten Commandments in a Catholic school. I got a problem with the Ten Commandments coming into a school system where if I actually had kids, they would have to be forced to see this. And what happens if some of the students are of different religious backgrounds? Jewish, Hindu, Muslim, Farsi? Oh, that's the language. How about some of those that study the Quran? Do they have to be inflicted with it? Or Buddhists? Anything but Christian. How about atheist or agnostic? You see, the First Amendment was trying to avoid nationalizing one form of belief, one form of religion, over everything. I was trying to explain this in the other videos. I still got to get processed. When the Constitution was formed, they were trying to avoid what happened in other countries where religion was dominant in the forms of the government systems, where the Pope in itself was controlling governments and controlling people, where being Catholic was the only thing. There was protest in England when they wanted to form, or sorry, when they had formed the Church of England by being of Protestant instead of Catholicism. A contention that is still being battled, not in America. Did anybody remember what the hell happened to Ireland? Besides the British rule still splitting that country up in half, where Northern Ireland is part of the British rule and the rest of Ireland is their own rule. And how long did they have, how many decades did they actually have, or practically centuries, when the British was trying to do the complete rule, is besides warring against a political party, you also had a war of religion. Protestants versus Catholicism. And that's real. That's when you have people trying to blow each other up and trying to kill each other over that one. It was bad enough if you happen to look back into world history, where we actually had King of England trying to convert people in the Middle East. We've had conversions happening all throughout our lives in different forms, different functions. And now, in a country where we're trying to make religion pluralistic. We have the freedom to worship whatever kind of way we feel like. But now we have this forced down our throats by the same politicians who think that they have to follow this way because they say so. Us versus them. What is it with these brainwashing idiots? I swear to God. I do not understand them. It's like you either be converted or you're gonna get it. I mean, what are we gonna do? Revert back to Spanish Inquisition times? Trying to promote Catholicism. Either you convert or you're gonna get killed. Mel Brooks in his movie of History of the World Part One made fun of it. I mean, he really did. He's Jewish. He's proud of it. He's got an off-ball sense of humor that a lot of people liked when his movies came out, and maybe some other generations will still scratch their heads over it. And you got to understand his off-ball humor. And yeah, in certain aspects, he did mean disrespect, but in a funny way. But certain areas he didn't cross the line on. I consider him one of the comic geniuses we have in our times. But even he wouldn't recommend having the Ten Commandments in a religion, actually in a public school system, just because a minority says so. Except they're controlling school boards and government boards. Everything has to be this way. We're going to have states doing Sharia law. We're going to have part of the Union of the United States breaking federal law. The Constitution of the United States had set up that there is no government established religion. We have freedom of speech. We have protections against the government. We have press. But we will not force religion in any capacity down people's throats. They have to have the freedom and the choice to do this for themselves. It's like I'm going to go next door to my neighbor, bang on the door, and tell them that they are going to worship something. And they have no choice in the matter. Give me 1 second here. I am knocking on your door. They'll probably look through the peephole and see this shoved into their face. Now, you will open the door. You will open this door. You will worship this. Now I gotta pick up something better on that one. I don't want to get into a copyright. I mean, I'll have these guys on me like crazy. I'm using one of their mascots. Alright. I don't have a mascot of a Star Trek animal. I don't even have a damn Tribble with me. And this thing is hooked into this. So, I don't even know how to put this damn thing back on. Give me a second here, will you? I mean, what the hell am I going to use for this kind of situation? I mean, I got too much cutes and cuddlies and woodlies and things things and they just don't work. They're not sticking in your damn face. They're not used as an icon. And they're sure as hell not used as a damn uniform. And you know, I happen to have a damn uniform on. It's like I don't have anything to stick in someone else's face and say, you will follow me because I say so. Oh, that's all I need. That's all I need. That's all I need. Get this thing out of the way. Okay. Should we try that again? I'm gonna knock on your door. You will listen to me. I am going into your school. I am going into your school. You see this icon? You see this icon? You will learn to love it. You will learn to fear it. You will learn to believe in it. You will be converted into a Trekkie. Don't argue the point. I'm going to your school board right now. I'm going to insist. And I'll go to every parent out there. And I will thump on their doors. And I will force the issue down their throat. You will follow the icon. You have no choice. Because we say so. There are rules and regulations of being this thing here. There is no God. There is only Trekkiism. We worship Star Trek and the great bird of the galaxy, Gene Roddenberry. Because we will, and we will indeed, and you will too. We're going to get the articles of the Federation posted in every damn school place. Every place. They will follow us. They will learn to follow the emblem. They will worship the emblem. There is no more God. There's no more Mohammed or whatever they call him. There is only Trekkiism. And soon the Terran Empire will begin. And we will dominate this planet. And soon the galaxy. You all will be part of it. It is the will of the Trekkie. You will do this. You will! Wow, that was weird, wasn't it? I know. Very forceful, dramatic. But for me, intentional. We have a lot of nut jobs out there trying to deal and wheel and deal in their own damn way. Of trying to force their wills and beliefs on everybody else. They usually try, hey, have you heard about this? Have you heard about that? Have you heard about this? Have you heard about that? Have you? Don't believe what they're saying. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen people do that too. Ugh. But actually going into places and pounding on people's doors and forcing them to believe in something that they don't want to. Kind of reminded me of how many autocratic government systems originally started as a good thing turned into something weird. Something that was supposed to be given purpose to people, and yet the purpose was to fill a madman left and right. But that's what we're stuck with right now. We're stuck with madmen. And I don't know how the hell we're going to be able to get out of this damn thing, I'll tell you the truth. I mean, I really don't know. Having Texas vote a Texas law, you know, the lawmakers out there in their own damn chambers, They're going to vote. Their own little Congress situation, they're going to vote. Whether or not to allow the damn Ten Commandments in every damn public educational place at this point over here. This is a civil rights catastrophe. This is a violation of our founding fathers. It's a violation of the U.S. Constitution. This is breaking federal law. But we have conservative states out there doing that right now. The U.S. Constitution to them is dead. Long live the Second Amendment, actually. However, they'll hold on to the 25th because we might get rid of someone we don't like. Everything else can go to hell. But we want to kill, we want to kill off nearly everything else. Maybe the First Amendment, we're not quite sure about that one. But the Second Amendment we want to have, and everything else, including due process, gone. I would not be surprised if our Bill of Rights is going to get totally rewritten at this point over here. And it will require every damn state to follow it. There are rules and procedures concerning about making amendment changes. And they have to have approval in both chambers on this one. There's got to be conventions about it. And not to mention, there's got to be a bill signed on this one here, too. I mean, you can't pass anything in the House and the Senate making it a law without having the President's seal of approval on this one. Or unless the Supreme Court makes something like a judicial review. Madison. Madison versus Marbury. They finally get the Supreme Court going, and they had to make a judicial review. A decision they made changed a federal law, and thus making their own law on that one. But this is what we've got going. But how does this affect having the Ten Commandments being in your place when you are of a different, you're a different period? This is us versus them still. A minority influencing a great deal of the majority. Elitism at play. The Great Pyramid right above the masses. And the pyramid says it all. But the problem is the pyramid is supported by the masses. But this is what the American public wants. They're going to be allowed to have this thing in effect. They're allowing it to happen. They're allowing to screw over people left and right. I guess what we're in for. Screwing more people left and right on this one. So when Texas passes it, Texas breaks federal law, breaks the First Amendment, and constantly violates civil rights. Hell, Florida's been doing that constantly right now as it is, and curtailing the First Amendment on a constant basis. To me, the First Amendment is sacrosanct. It gives us some ability to speak our minds, but we're also limited because we don't have the absolute freedom. If we do, we have anarchy. There has to be a limited amount of freedom. But for some people, it's either absolute or none at all. I hate to say this, but if they want to look at the Bible and they think it's everything else cracked up to be, and not to mention the Muslims and people who follow the Quran think it's absolute. Didn't both philosophies, both books actually have limitations of what can and can't be done? Of our behavior? Is that too much to ask for to understand this? Or does not our religious icons and teachers Are they saying something else that we're not even understanding here? Or are we that brain dead about it? I guess we are that brain dead. Because we're allowing this stuff to happen and we're allowing our civil rights and the First Amendment and our Constitution of the United States being dissolved one by one, little by little, because everybody doesn't care anymore. I guess apathy does win out, doesn't it?